Toastmaster Adams has been a member since May 2000. She has held the educational offices of President and Area Governor with Toastmasters International, and she is a member of the Crestview and the Emerald Coast Toastmasters. She has a short one-term goal of completing her Distinguished Toastmaster and completing her DTM, her coursework for DTM and becoming a Distinguished Toastmaster. She has a long-term 2-year goal of serving as a district leader. Wow. Her topic tonight is sharing with members one of Toastmasters International's Better Speaker Series. Now, the Better Speaker Series is a set of presentations offering instruction on basic speaking skills. Presentations in this series provide new speaking techniques and facts that can help all of you develop your communication skills. So that's pretty exciting. All right, your project info, Toastmaster Patti, is controlling your fear. That's what her speech is going to be about. And her goal tonight is, by understanding the causes and symptoms of fear, you, a speaker, can harness that seemingly negative energy and channel it toward a positive outcome. Wow. The time of this speech is 10 to 15 minutes, so Toastmaster Dunn will be watching that very carefully. All right. Y'all are going to want to listen to this speech because it's going to outline valuable tools to calm your fears and build confidence. The members and guests tonight will learn how to appear confident even when nerves are present. All right, well, the total of Toastmaster Patti's speech is controlling your fear, as I said. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Patti Adams.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. And before the timer starts, normally when you come to a meeting and you're going to watch a presentation, you see a big overhead screen to where everybody can see it. This room does not have one, so we had to kind of use one of our TVs and do a makeshift one. So if you cannot see this, feel free to move closer so everyone can see. But I think for the most part, based on the way that you're seated, you should be able to see it. Now, on to the presentation. You can start timing me now. Controlling your fear. I am Patti Adams with Crestview Toastmasters. I want to begin this presentation by talking about some fear quotes. I'm sure you've all had some fears in your life, and I want you to think about these as I go through the speech to see if any of them fit you. Fear doesn't paralyze, it kills. You can't hit what you can't see. Fear has many faces. Mine is not one of them. Fear, the thief of dreams. Have you had a time in your life when you feared doing something? Well, most people who come to Toastmasters have feared public speaking. They can talk amongst themselves all the time, but if you put them in a situation to where they have to take a front and center role, as I'm doing right now, it doesn't happen. So we'll begin by anxiety triggers. What causes this fear? Where does this fear come from? Well, it comes from new and unknown situations. That can cause a lot of stress. Let's think about it. If you start a new job, that can bring about stress. You don't know who your other coworkers are going to be. You don't know all the new things that you're going to learn. If you have a new baby, you're a first-time mom. Again, that could cause a lot of stress because you just want to be a good mom. So already you're hesitant of, oh my gosh, will I do all the right things? Risk of failure. This is a big one. Because most of us are taught since we were children to be achievers, to be successful, and to be victorious. And so we already have that cloud hanging over our head that if we fail at this, people are going to laugh and people are going to make fun of us. So that again brings about nervousness and in some cases even brings about panic attacks. Potential for appearing foolish. I know that one all too well. You do not want to appear foolish because when you appear foolish before an audience, you feel embarrassed and you feel shame, and nobody wants to feel that, again, causing stress. The possibility of boring the audience. I've been to some presentations where I just wanted to shoot myself in the head because I was so bored. Because the people spoke in a very monotone voice. They never moved their head or their body. They did not do anything but bore me. Do not do that. We want to enamor people with our speech. We want to basically say something that's so important that they've heard that they can take with them and that they can learn from and that at some point they can do themselves. Anxiety symptoms. Now let me see if you see what I see on my screen. Oh, do you see that crazy little person? Well, they may not be so crazy as you think if they fear public speaking. I want you to look at it closely, even if you have to come up to the screen, because he's holding that poor lectern and podium for dear life and death. And he's so nervous that he has papers scattering all over the floor. He is dripping in sweat. It's kind of hot in here, so if I start dripping in sweat, it's not because I'm nervous, but because it's hot. His hair is standing up all over his head. So this is not what we want. Some anxiety symptoms that you may be familiar with is increased heart rate. When you're afraid of something or you're fearful about something, your heart will start to pound. And sometimes it may pound so much that you literally feel like your heart is beating in your head. So what do you think is going to happen? You have some negative adrenaline that's building up because of your nerves. Oh, the butterflies in the stomach. Have you ever had butterflies in your stomach because you had to approach something in your life that was so unsettling that all you could feel is rumble, 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 rumble? I hate that feeling. That's a horrible feeling. I am afraid of some things, mainly animals, and I get those butterflies in my stomach when one approaches me. Uncontrollable shakes. When I began Toastmasters, people said, "Oh, you're such a natural. You do everything so well." But as I started to mentor people, I watched this young lady that was so afraid that she was like this the whole time she spoke. And I felt so bad for her. She did this so much, the paper was rattling so loud. It can happen to any of us. Lightheadedness and dizziness, again, a symptom. If you're upset or nervous or fearful about something, sometimes it makes you feel like you could just faint. But there's good news. Y'all ready to hear the good news?
Yes.
Woo, I got some audience here. Okay, people are with me. Okay, wonderful. Managing anxiety. Now this part gets to be interactive, so I want you all to not be so comfortable in your seat because some of these things in a little bit, you will be joining me in doing because we're going to work on alleviating some stress tonight. But you start managing your anxiety by experience. You can practice in front of a mirror. If you're going to do a speech, now I will tell you firsthand, that was very awkward for me. I thought, why would I want to stand in front of this mirror and look at myself? That's not going to help me. But it did help because the first thing that it helped me do was get out of that seat. It allowed me to stand there, and even though I was only looking at myself, I could see an audience looking at me. And every time I moved, that mirror reflection moved back at me. So if you practice in front of a mirror, that will be the beginning stages of you learning how to speak. Rehearse in front of family and friends. I know what you're thinking. Nobody's going to want to help me. Nobody's going to want to do that. But I beg to differ. Because I know that I could call Kathy right now. And I could say, "Kathy, oh my gosh, I have this speech that's coming up and I'm so nervous about it. Do you think you could just maybe give me 5 minutes of your time and I could do this speech and you could give me some helpful feedback?" I don't think she would reject that. But if she did, because maybe she just has a busy schedule, I'm sure there's someone who would be willing to listen to my speech and help me out. Practicing and rehearsing makes you that experienced person. Because as much as you have all that material, if you cannot present it and you don't know it, that will be your beginning stages of being stressed out. Because you don't know the material and you have not put in the work to make sure that it was effective. Deliver a speech before the Toastmaster Club, hence what I'm doing right now. The more you speak and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become with the audience and the better you will be. Give presentations before other groups, anywhere, and I'll even say it anytime. You can give a speech at your church, at your Rotary Club, and guess what? Any other organization. And if there's a Toastmaster present, you can even get credit for that speech. Now, I added this one, video record your speech. The reason I put that one in there is this was so helpful to me. Now, when Bruce stood up and talked about him being a general evaluator, he's going to evaluate me today to say how I did. And I'm sure he'll probably give me some areas of improvement, and he'll tell me some things that I did well, which will be very helpful. But with the video recording, I myself can go back and look at it and critique me. We are our own self-worst critic. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, everybody nod their head. Yes, thank you. We are our worst critic. Sometimes I've spent and I've seen people that just do this. They have their hands in their pocket the whole time. I wear glasses. I've been where people are constantly, they're doing this. Doesn't that look distracting? Can y'all follow me if I'm constantly moving my glasses up and down? Probably not. So being able to video record my speech will help me with that. Visualization. Use your thought processes to achieve positive results. Now this is where you all are going to help me out. Because I want everyone in here to close my eyes, and I'm going to not close my eyes. Close your eyes. Did y'all catch that? Okay. I want everyone in here to close their eyes, and I will be looking to see who has your eyes open. So close your eyes. Now what I want you to do right now is I want you to visualize that you are the person that's giving this speech this evening. Can you see yourself? Can you see your audience smiling back at you? Can you see them nodding their head in agreement because they are excited about what you have to share? Now I want you to imagine them clapping their hands with joy because they were so happy that you took out time to give them this information. Now open your eyes. Wasn't that a great and positive influence? If you believe it, then you can do it. So I don't want anyone in here saying, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Guess what? You can do it, but you have to believe that you can do it first. Another part of managing your anxiety is relaxation. One of those ways is isometric exercises. Now, I talked earlier about one of our visitors being a personal trainer. So I'm sure she's probably heard of this word before. I never heard of the word isometric. I had no idea what it was until I practiced for this speech. But what it is it's the type of exercises that you do that start to help your circulation flow. And it gives oxygen to the brain, which creates adrenaline, so you can add energy to your speech. Again, you can have negative energy or positive energy. We're working on positive energy. Thank you. Y'all all listening to me. That's awesome. The other technique that I will be going through is your breathing techniques. So here's a picture of some of the different exercises that are considered isometric exercises. And we're going to do some of them. So everybody stand to your feet. Come on, I only have 15 minutes for this speech. Let's not go. Right now, I want you to just put your head down to your chest. Now roll it over to the right. Slowly to the back. Over to the left. And then back down in front. Ah, doesn't that feel amazing? Already my neck feels so much more relief than what it was when I came in here. The second exercise that we're going to do is just put your hands out to the side. And we're going to do 10 rolls to the front and 10 to the back. I know y'all thought y'all would come here and speak, but guess what? This is exercise time. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! I feel so rejuvenated. How are you all feeling right now?
Great. Good.
Awesome. So you all may be seated. The next one that I will teach you all about is your breathing techniques. Now when we go to the doctor, and the doctor say, oh, Patti, let me listen to your chest. So she'll tell you to do what? Inhale and exhale. But it's more like this. Let me tell you, there is no relaxation in that. So the proper way to do it to where you can actually get relaxed is to inhale, take in a deep breath so you can feel it in your diaphragm, and then you let it out very, very slowly, like you can count to 30. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time, but I think you get the point. So I will give you a little demonstration. That is a great stress reliever for me. And my husband knows because I will let the stupidest, simplest things get on my last nerve, and he'll say, babe, breathe, just breathe. I talk fast, babe, breathe. So thank goodness for inhaling and exhaling. To conclude this speech, you saw the little gentleman before, where he was all worked up and he couldn't even get 2 words out of his mouth, and he did not want to do that speech. Nothing inside of him made him want to do that speech. It's normal to feel nervous. A lot of times people say you're a natural, but guess what? I may be a natural in some people's eyes, but every single time I get up to speak, I can get nervous. I may get nervous because I've never spoken in front of Tammy and Monique before. So just their presence be like, oh my gosh, this isn't the norm. This isn't the normal people that's here. It's okay to feel nervous. Don't worry about it. Your audience won't notice. If you are prepared for a speech, you you've done your exercises, you've gotten your breathing right, you've studied and practiced and rehearsed your material over and over again, no one will notice those sweaty palms or those quivering legs, because they will only be paying attention to the confidence that you exhibit. Use method to exhibit confidence. Let me go back one time. So you see the after clip art that I posted. Do you want to be this type of speaker? This is the kind of speaker that we want you to be while you're trained in Toastmasters. One that can hold a piece of paper still. He has a huge smile on his face, meaning he's prepared, he's ready to do this. And he even slightly has his head tilted back. That's showing, I'm confident. I know that they're going to want to hear what I have to say. I put a picture on here. These are all individual people that I know. And all of these people, I was mentors in my previous clubs as the president. And one thing that they all have in common is fear. All the different symptoms and triggers that I told you about earlier, they knew every one of them. But today, they're different people. They compete in contests, and they've won trophies on the club level and the area level and the district level. Why? Because they worked hard to be that better speaker and leader. Some of them have received awards through our Toastmasters Club for outstanding officer, whether it was vice president of education and etc. So just as they can be that better speaker, so can you. The one thing they all had in common was fear. The one thing they all have in common is success. Are you ready to be successful today, Mr. Toastmaster?
I will now introduce our evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Bruce Adams. Will be evaluating Toastmaster Patti Adams. Please come forward. Toastmaster Patti Adams. Very good job on this presentation, controlling your fear by Toastmaster International's Better Speaker Series. I hope you all caught the introduction. The Better Speaker Series is one of about 3 or 4 series where you can go online for free, get the project, they give you the manual, they give you the slides, but you have to craft it into your delivery style. They tell you in a lot of different pages, this is not a script. You did very well personalizing it. I loved how you used examples from your previous experience. That was very good. And I have written down here twice, I love how you involved the group as far as participation, a total of 3 times. That's very good to help keep us awake, help keep those that are hot cool, and to help those that are cool to stay warm. You had the usual good vocals, I believe everyone could hear in the back. You had eye contact. You used gestures. Your humor. I have written down something about boop my head. Boop my head. I guess that was one of the bad presentations you went to, bad meeting. Your use of pauses. Use of the speaking area. And a very good conclusion. We knew that you were wrapping down, plus the slide said conclusion, but we knew you were headed toward the end. Some questions from the evaluation form. How effective was the introduction? I think it was very good. It was a little long, but these projects are always a little more lengthy because you have to explain what it is you're doing, because it's not from a manual per se, it's from a series of electronic programs, what the program's about, and then why is that effective for our particular club. Were you prepared? Yes. The slides were not wordy. You had funny graphics. No reliance on the notes. And the most important thing, you did not read the slides to us. Did the speaker use vocal variety? Yes, she used highs and you used some lows. We talked about your personal statement on boring presentations and your examples on anxiety. I'm sure a few of us have done that before. You're in front of the vice president or the CEO. I know my stuff, but maybe if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be nervous. You gave examples also of using the mirror to practice. I've also heard some people use the microwave of it, because they're typically elevated. Well, to establish eye contact. What aspect of the speaker's presentation style do you like? You're confident. You gave many examples, and also the group participation. Did the speaker present material clearly and simply so the audience could easily understand what she was saying? Yes. You're not using jargon and not any long words. What could you have done differently to make it more effective? My only suggestion I could see was to move the laptop a little further away so you were not speaking to us and then looking down. You can talk to your assistant next time on the day. But overall, you had a very smooth style, good audio, and great audience participation. Thank you.